Try to imagine your life and America without free speech. Imagine if your city council or governor proposes a new law and you can't speak against it. Imagine if you consider an elected official or a group a threat to democracy, but you aren't allowed to say anything. Imagine if the government controlled what was said in houses of worship and who said it, as in the early American colonies. Imagine if the inventor of the successful smallpox vaccine was not allowed to discuss his invention in 1796. Imagine if people were not allowed to raise questions about the advisability of specific medical treatments today. Imagine if you wanted to warn your town about a disease outbreak. The government wouldn't let you. Imagine if Abraham Lincoln was not allowed to speak against slavery at the Lincoln-Douglas debates. Imagine if Mark Twain was not allowed to publish his great satire against war, the War Prayer. America would be a very different place if we could not speak our minds. A very different place if the government had sole power to decide what was true and prohibited the circulation of any information it deemed to be false or threatening to its rule. A very different place if we, the people, had to sit down, shut up, and go along with any program that our masters rammed down our throats. There are lots of reasons why we have free speech. Let's look at them and then focus on two related reasons that get to the heart of the matter. First, the reasons we have free speech. Free speech is a natural right that the government cannot take away. You're born with the right of free speech and it needs no further justification. We can't have a free society without free speech. You can't love your freedom and hate free speech at the same time and expect to remain free. Free speech is necessary for human progress. Stifle free speech and you stifle medical advances and other innovations, as well as social change like getting rid of slavery. We don't want the government deciding what's true and what's false, controlling speech accordingly. Government cannot be trusted with that much power. The people in power at any given moment might like being able to control everyone else's speech. They surely will not like it when the shoe is on the other foot, when the other party or people who think differently from them get elected the next time. Maybe you don't like what some people say, but controlling speech is a slippery slope. It starts with self-censorship and ends with not being able to say anything at all. Government cannot be trusted with the power to interfere with your freedom of thought. Controlling speech might start small and for supposedly good reasons like diversity and inclusiveness, but things are certain to end badly when people lose their freedom of conscience and thought. It's better to have it all out in the open than to drive it underground where you can't tell what people are thinking or how many are getting ready to do something violent about an idea that they are no longer allowed to discuss in public. Now let's get to the heart of the matter with the popular sovereignty and free speech. It's often said we have the First Amendment to pursue truth in the marketplace of ideas. Why do we need a marketplace of ideas? What's it for? The answer is found in what's probably the most influential book on free speech ever written, Free Speech and Its Relation to Self-Government by Alexander Meiklejohn in 1948. The author argued that political speech is the most important type of speech and deserves the most protection. But why? Because of its relation to self-government. That's why. We live in what's supposed to be a constitutional republic where we, the people, are sovereign. And that's why we have free speech. Free speech is necessary for self-government, popular sovereignty. We, the people, rule ourselves. We don't have a king or tiny elite ruling over us. Therefore, we must be able to pursue truth in the marketplace of ideas and get all the information we need in order to make our sovereign decisions. As James Madison put it, a people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power which knowledge gives. The advancement and diffusion of knowledge is the only guardian of true liberty. A related reason we have free speech is because free expression forms the character necessary for self-government. Self-governance should be a process of persuasion by rational argument, not an exercise you can crack the most heads in the streets or whoever's the angriest or loudest. We make law through completely informed, reasoned discourse, not fanaticism. If you're able to put rational questions to the fanatics, most people will see the truth and fanaticism will not carry the day. It takes a long time to cultivate a culture of free expression. It doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. It also requires maintenance to keep a culture of tolerance for the expression of unpopular viewpoints thriving. That is the heart of the matter. We have free speech because we are sovereigns with the right and obligation of making fully informed decisions, and because we must possess the requisite character to govern ourselves. Yes, it's work, but the alternative is a tiny group of people sitting on top of us, telling us what to do and how to think. Every time an unpopular viewpoint is suppressed or people censor themselves, we lose a little bit of our capacity for self government. Lose enough of that capacity, and we are no longer sovereigns, but subjects once more, like King George never left. The forces that want to shut down free speech in this country are regressives. They are, in essence, trying to turn the clock back to a time when lords and masters, not we the people, ruled the land. It's up to us to stop them. We must preserve our First Amendment freedom of speech, and with it, our liberty and our self rule.